Dear students, welcome back to the zoology lecture module. This is the 10th lecture pertaining to animal kingdom. Today we are going to use all the knowledge, all the kind of ideas which we have learned in previous 9 lectures, and we will try to divide or classify animal kingdom. So I'll be now showing you the outline. So let us draw this outline classification of animal kingdom. We know that animals are of diverse nature. There's a diversity of animals on the surface of the earth, and they differ on so many criteria, on so many bases, which you have understood in previous 9 lectures. Now, this is the time for us to at least remember the names of the different categories and to understand the different bases on which these categories have been created or devised. The first and the main criteria to divide the entire kingdom is the presence of notochord. So, on the basis of the notochord, animal kingdom is divided into two major groups. One we call non-chordates, and the other group is called chordates. The basis on which we have created these two broader groups is the presence or absence of notochord. So this classification is done on the presence or absence of notochord. Now, there must be a question in your mind that what is a notochord? You have to remember that, my dear students, it is a kind of skeletal rod. You know about your skeleton, you know about, say for example, your vertebral column that is made up of majorly bones. But notochord is a cartilaginous skeletal rod which supports the body in some organisms. So we have to remember that notochord is what? It is a cartilaginous, let me write down over here. It is a cartilaginous skeletal rod. So the animals which have this cartilaginous skeletal rod in their body, they'll be obviously called chordates. Now you have differences. Either the skeletal rod will be present in only embryonic stage, or you will find this in the adult stage also. But if at any stage of the life this rod is present in the body, you will call those animals chordates. But if this rod is absent, so this cross indicates that notochord is absent in these animals. These animals are called non-chordates because in them, let me write down, in them, notochord is, yes, it's absent. But what is the case with chordates? In them, notochord is present. But the thing is, either it is present throughout life, that is to be noted, either it is present throughout life or it is present in embryonic, or you will see notochord in embryonic stage. Of their life, or you will see notochord in any stage of their life. So you have to remember notochord is present in them, but it is not necessary you'll find it in all animals throughout the life. In some, you will find notochord throughout the life. In some, you will find notochord only in the embryonic stages, or in some, you will find notochord at certain stages of the life. That is to be remembered over here. Now, let me erase this stuff because this was for your information. Either it will be present throughout the life, either it will be present in embryonic stage, either it will be present at some stage of the life. You have to remember this, okay? Now, moving ahead, you'll see that these chordates are further divided into some categories. Okay, so chordates have been, sorry, we'll look at non-chordates first. Non-chordates have been divided into 10 groups. So you'll see these chordates divided into 10 groups, which we call phylum. The plural is phyla. So you have 10 phyla. The first phyla or the first phylum is phylum Porifera. Okay, these include the sponges. The second phylum is the Cnidaria. Cnidaria. Cnidaria, initially they were known as coelantrates. The same group has the name. So initially they were known as, this phyla was labeled as coelantrates. Now it's labeled as Cnidaria. It involves your hydra. The third phylum is that of Ctenophora. The fourth phylum is that of the platyhelminths. That of platy. These involve the flatworms. The fifth phylum is aschelminths. It involves the roundworms. The sixth phylum is Annelida. Annelida, it involves the earthworms, leech, and nettles. Seventh phylum is that of Arthropoda, insects and all. Eighth phylum is that of Mollusca. It involves your snails and octopus-like animals. Ninth phylum is that of Echinodermata. This involves your starfishes. 10th phylum, the 10th group is Hemi Chordata. Hemi Chordata. Analyze the name of the group, it is Hemi Chordata. So it will have some of the features which will resemble chordates, some of the features which will resemble non-chordates. Majority of its features will resemble non-chordates. That's why these have been placed under non-chordates. But they are hemichordates. That means they have some characteristics of chordates also. Okay, coming to the chordates now. Now you remember that in them notochord is present, and I've told you earlier that notochord will not be present. In some you'll see notochord throughout the life, in some you'll see notochord only at the embryonic stages, in some you'll see notochord at some later stages of the life. Now, on the basis of where this notochord is present, on the basis of where is this notochord present, these chordates have been divided into 3 subphyla. Let me take the blue pen. So on the basis of what? On the basis of where this notochord is present. What is the basis for this classification now? On the basis of where is notochord present. On that basis, you have these 3 subphylum. So you have 1, 2, and 3. Let me write down the third subphylum here. Okay. The first subphylum is, so you have a sub. This is another sub. And this is another subphylum. Let us see first of all the names of these subphylum, the subgroups. Here, this subphylum is called Urochordates. So this is the first subphylum. Second subphylum is cephalochordates, and the third subphylum is vertebrata. So you have now urochordates or urochordata, cephalochordates, the cephalochordata, and vertebrata. Okay. So let me make it more specific. Let me write down here urochordata, cephalochordata, and vertebrata. Okay, in that way it will become easy for you to remember. So urochordata, that is the name of the phyla, subphylum. The animals which will be involved here will be called urochordates. Okay, that is the term. That is how the terminology goes. And cephalochordates will be the animals, but the group will be known as cephalochordata, and this will be the vertebrata. Now, in this case, in this case of urochordata, you will see that the notochord is present. So, right here, notochord is present only in tail. That's the difference. So, animals here will have notochord only in tail part of the body. In these, you will see in cephalochordates, you will see notochord is present from head to tail. Head to tail. In them, you will see notochord present from head to tail. In vertebrata, you will see notochord is present in embryonic stage and is then replaced. Notochord is present in embryonic stage, but that is then replaced by the vertebral column. That is the difference. So that's why they're called vertebrata. That's why this group is called vertebrata, because they have vertebral column. They have the spine. But in them, notochord is present, but that is present in the embryonic stage. At embryonic stage, on the same place where notochord is present, that is then replaced by the vertebral column. Okay. Now these vertebrates are further divided. They are further divided. So vertebrates are further divided. Now based on what? Based on what? Based on the jaws. On the basis of vertebrates are further divided on the basis of jaws into two categories. One category is called, let me take the green pen. One category is called agnathostomes. One group of animals is called agnathostomes. And another category is called gnathosomes. So vertebrates are further of how many types? Two types. Agnathosomes and gnathosomes. Agnathosomes are, these are jawless. They are jawless and they look like fishes. Jawless and look like fishes. That's why we call them jawless fishes. That's why you call them what? You call them jawless fishes. Now, if you look at gnathostomes have proper mouth. These animals have mouth with jaws. You further divide them into two categories. It's further divided into two categories. Based on what? Based on the locomotive structures. I mean to say, based on the structure which they have for locomotion. Structures. If they have fins for locomotion, either they will have fins for locomotion or they will have limbs for locomotion. If they have fins for locomotion, you will call this category or this group, you will call this group Pisces. You'll call this group Pisces. And if they have limbs, that too 4 limbs for locomotion, or they will have properly 4 limbs, among which 2 will be for locomotion, as is the case with humans, you will first of all call this group Tetrapoda. What is this group then called? Tetrapoda. Now, Pisces or fishes, which have fins for locomotion, again you can divide these into these fishes, you can divide Pisces into two categories. You will see them into you will divide them into two classes. One are called the bony fishes, which have the bony endoskeleton, and other are the cartilaginous fishes. Okay, bony fishes. This class of the fishes is given the name ostrich thighs, and this class is given the name chondrich thighs. Okay, chondrich thighs. Now, as far as the tetrapods are concerned, you very well know these. Tetrapods are divided into four classes. Now, who doesn't know these classes? All of us know these classes very well. Tetrapods are divided into four classes. Yes, can you guess the names? Obviously. Number one class is amphibia, class amphibia. Next is class reptilia. Let me write down this here. Next is your class aves or birds. And last class is that of the mammalia, class mammalia. Okay, let me put these arrows in a proper manner. So you have tetrapods divided into four classes: class amphibia, class reptilia, class aves, and class mammalia. So in this way, you now understood that the entire animal kingdom could be divided into, yes, it could be divided into two broader groups. One is the group of non-chordates, another is the group of chordates. Okay, non-chordates, they do not have notochord. Chordates, they do have notochord. Let's talk about non-chordates first. We have divided non-chordates into how many phyla? Into 10 phyla. What are they? So you are, from here to here, you are moving from simplicity to complexity. So you will see Porifera first, second phylum Cnidaria, third phylum Ctenophora, fourth phylum Platyhelminthes, fifth phylum Escalminthes, sixth phylum Annelida, seventh phylum Arthropoda, eighth phylum Mollusca, ninth phylum Echinodermata, 10th phylum Hemi Chordata. As far as syllabus is concerned, we have to study Hemi Chordata up to phylum level. Okay, then from this side, we have to go to these levels also. We have to go to the level of classes. Okay, let me start from here. Chordates, they do not have notochord. Now, sorry, they have notochord. Now, based on where is this notochord present, we have chordates divided into three subphyla. One is the Urochordata group. In them, notochord is present only in the tail. Another is the Cephalochordata group. In them, notochord is present from head to tail. Another is Vertebrata group. In them, notochord is present but in embryonic state. Later, it is replaced and the same place is occupied by vertebral column. Now, vertebrates have been divided into two categories. One is anathostomes, another is gnathostomes. As far as ignathostomes are concerned, they are jawless or animals. They look like fishes. That's why you call them jawless fishes. Gnathostomes, they have proper mouth with jaws. And gnathostomes are further divided into two groups on the basis of their locomotive structures, on the basis of their structures which help them in motion. If they have fins for locomotion, you will call this group Pisces. If they have limbs for locomotion, you will call this group Tetrapoda, because they have here four limbs for locomotion. That's why you call them tetrapoda. Tetra for four, poda for limbs. Now, Pisces are further divided into two classes. So you have Pisces fishes divided into two classes. One is bony fish, another is cartilaginous fish. Bony fish group is given the name of ostrich thighs. Cartilaginous fish group is given the name chondrich thighs. As far as tetrapods are concerned, they are divided into four classes. You have class amphibia, class reptilia, class aves. Aves are your birds, okay? And class mammalia. That is how you classify your animal kingdom. Now we have to start in next lectures. We will look at the general characteristics of Porifera, then we'll go to the general characteristics about Cnidaria. We'll take reference of one animal to understand about the properties or the characteristics of each and every phyla. So we have to go into the details of these 10, and then we have to go into the details of the vertebrata. We have to go into the details of all these mentioned groups. Let me meet you in the next lecture. Till then, take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.